Wait, Mama, say hi.
Hi, Mama.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Because she also doesn't know how to get down.
Hee. Just jump.
I slip and fell.
She just sits there. See? There's a video. Because it's so pretty. Like, what is up with this stuff? Hmm? Good morning. Good morning, chickens. Chicken and ducks. So, okay. So because of the chickens get a variety of food, this one is okay. Sometimes we give them birds, not just chickens, they're ducks.
Dude, I can't. You made it worse.
There you go.
Okay, this thing fell off. Is it okay?
Yeah. Is there a car? Is there a car, bro? Is there a car, broski?
Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa. Woo.
I did fall.
Okay, come on.
That was.
Felt something holding a poisonous snake, and as I carefully walked it into the lab, my eyes never left it. This was likely why it was so easy for Prakash to reach forward, yanking the gun out of my belt, holster and all, while shoving me forward with the other hand. I stumbled forward, my first panic thought of not dropping the seed, which rolled dangerously close to the edge of the tray's raised lip before setting back into the bottom. It then struck me what had actually just happened, and I turned to see Prakash slamming the door shut, his face looking sad as the slab of metal swung in and obscured him from view. I cursed and sat down the tray gingerly before running to the door. It was designed to lock from the outside in case there was ever a problem in the lab, and I knew of no other way out. I beat on the door with my fist, screaming for Prakash to let me out, but there was no response. The door opened with, but there was nothing I could see that would make a dent in the job. Finally, I went back to yelling and pounding on the door, slamming against it hard enough to break my collarbone. At this point, as I lay defeated and weeping at the bottom of the door, I knew at least 15 minutes had passed. Prakash could have easily killed him already, or something even worse. He could be carrying him off to be tortured right now, and it was all because I thought it was over and let my guard down. I failed in the one thing my grandfather asked of me, to keep him safe. I beat my head with my fist as I cried harder. I could feel myself slipping closer to some dark nadir of self-loathing and despair, and I forced myself to stop. Now was not the time for this weak bullshit. I needed to think, to try and be more like him. I needed to be smarter and better. Wiping my face, I stood up and started looking for anything that I might have missed or that might be useful. I saw my cell phone on one of the counters, but it was useless at the moment. My grandfather had turned on a series of cell phone jammers before I arrived with Prakash to keep him from being able to communicate with the outside world while he was with us, and the controls for them were in the living quarters, not the lab. I jammed the phone into my pocket and kept looking. When I reached his desk, I saw the envelope he had left me sitting at its center. I hadn't even noticed it when I was looking for a pry tool for the door, but now it was hard to take my eyes away from it. I knew my time was limited, but I felt some dim hope that it would contain some solution for our predicament. That, like so many times before, my grandfather had outfought his opposition before they even knew he was there. I tore into the letter and saw it was written out in his deliberate but messy handwriting. Jason, you're a good man. You deserve to have a happy life, and you need to have your own reasons for what you do and how you live. I've asked a lot of you, and for the last few days I've been preparing you for this kind of life. But that's wrong and selfish of me. I won't ask you to sacrifice your happiness to continue my work after I'm gone. If you ever decide you want to, this place is yours, but I honestly hope that you don't. Hunting these outsiders is an important cause, but it's a very lonely life. I started out of pain and revenge, out of not caring if I lived or died. I've come to realize those aren't good reasons, or at least not good enough. And those aren't burdens I'd ever want for you. If I had to do it over, I'd have spent more time with you and your parents instead of pushing you all the way. But life is a series of choices, and I can live with mine. I've managed to help those I could, and I got to spend the last few days with you. Hopefully I'll get to see you again, but either way, I'm satisfied with how things have turned out, and I hope you are too. I love you. Grandpa. Reading his words, I felt a swell of love for him. I also felt the resolute certainty that he was wrong. Looking back on the last few days, I realized I had felt a growing sense of purpose and rightness that I never had before. At times it had been terrifying, and I had no illusions I would be as good at it as my grandfather was. But I felt like I was capable of helping him, of helping others, and that it was what I was meant to do. Any last uncertainty faded away as I read the letter, my mind refuting his points as he made them. This could be a good and full life, and it didn't have to be lonely or done for the wrong reasons. And whatever my grandfather's reasons for starting down this path, I knew that he had stayed on it because he was a good and strong man that couldn't stand by while those evil things hurt people. And I was going to tell him that in person. I put the letter down, my mind racing as everything seemed to slow down around me. I had to be at 20 minutes now.
Can I say hi? Come here, Mara.